Hi, class. This week we are going to begin your genetic medicine project. So, this is a 30-point project where you'll get to explore the modern potential of genetic medicine. In this unit, our last unit, we've been learning all about the central dogma. In other words, how all life uses DNA as the instruction manual for building RNA carbon copies and then eventually translating that into proteins. But this is the basis for how all life works. They use that genetic information for building more of themselves, right? So, what that means is with this new modern technology that you're going to learn about called CRISPR, we have the theoretical capability of modifying the DNA of any organism that we want on the planet, almost in any way we want, which is both exciting and terrifying. Now, there's some limitations, and we're still a few decades away from this being brought into the modern healthcare system. Like, we can't make supermen that have X ray vision, has to be something that exists on planet Earth already. But we theoretically could cure any genetic based disease via this new technology called CRISPR. So, in part one of the Genetic Medicine Project, all you're going to do is get familiar with what CRISPR technology is. In part two, you're going to choose any genetic disease that you want. I give some suggestions for diseases that are a little bit more simple than others, but if you have experience with a genetic condition and you want to explore more about it, please feel free to do so. But you're going to do some Googling and some research about what the disease is, understand the genetic basis of it. Is the DNA mutated in some way? Is it a whole chromosome that's changed? Is it just a single letter that's switched in the DNA? And then you're going to start to brainstorm how we could use CRISPR technology to potentially fix those genetic diseases. If you have any questions throughout the project, please feel free to reach out via Canvas inbox or schedule an office hour with me. Remember, I'm always here to help. So I'll just briefly show you part one. This does have a rubric that you can see how I will be grading you on this assignment. But effectively, what I'm looking for is, do you have an understanding of the basics of what the CRISPR technology is? So you'll follow along with the linked assignment and the interactive simulation that introduces you to that. In the second part, again, there is a rubric that you can use to see how you will be graded. This is where I really want you to do some Googling and some research about the potential for how CRISPR could be used. Now, you will likely find that you can't just easily Google how CRISPR technology can be used to fix whatever the condition is, because it hasn't yet been explored, most likely. While there's all kinds of interesting clinical trials and researchers that are doing this, it's very, very new technology. So I'm not expecting you to be, a virologist and bacteriologists that understand it deeply. What I more want you to do is understand the disease itself, right? So if it's just like an A that switched to a T that causes all kinds of disruptions, then CRISPR technology could simply be used to make that T back to an A, so that single mutation could be fixed. So that's kind of the part that I want you to investigate. And if you're not totally right on your answers, that's okay. I just want you to use some critical thinking to explore the potentials of this technology.